Today I would like to invite you to join me on a journey along one of the 22 paths associated with the Tree of Life. Looking at the diagram, you can see that there are 10 sephira and 22 paths. Light and energy emanating directly from Source enters the tree at the top in Keter, that white sephira, and will then work its way down each of the paths through the various different sephira until it ends up in the 10th sephira, which is the one at the bottom, Malchut, with the 4 different colors. In turn, we are able to interact directly ourselves with the Tree of Life by working our way up through the different sephiras and different pathways on our journey, which is our return journey to Source. Sometimes we might choose to work the pathways in a linear fashion, but very often, depending on what's happening in life, we're called to work one or more paths individually. Sometimes we find ourselves visiting and revisiting the same path as we unpeel the layers of the onion and get to where we're trying to go, perhaps. This is an exercise that we can do to do this. I have divided my tarot deck into 2 piles, the majors and the minors. I will use the majors to identify the path that we're going to be walking along today. And once we have identified that, we will also know which of the 2 sephira are going to be involved. But in addition to this, I'm going to choose 2 cards from the minor arcana to see whether they have an additional nuance to add to the 2 sephiras we're going to be looking at. Shuffling up the major arcana and looking for which one will either pop out or I'll choose to work with for the path we're going to walk today. Whoops, and there we have it. Number 8, strength. Strength belongs to path number 19, which runs between the red sephira of Gevura and the blue sephira of Chesed. And let's have a look at some more information about that sephira and its pathway. So pathway 19 is called the path of Teth. It represents the connection between mercy and strength and the balance between compassion and discipline. The strength card represents balancing compassion and discipline, mercy and strength to harness one's inner power and courage. It also describes the journey towards self-mastery and the ability to overcome fear and obstacles on the path to spiritual growth. The path of Teth teaches us to balance our emotions and harness our inner strength so that we may act with courage and determination even in the face of fear and adversity. So, beautiful card. Let's take a look at strength in the Tree of Life Oracle cards, path number 19, and there we have strength. So it looks a little different on this card, depicted more as a male with his lions. Strength is a Leo card, so no wonder there are lions there as well. The keywords for this path on the Tree of Life Oracle are defending the weak, peacekeeping, and sincerity. And if we review the little guidebook that comes with this oracle, We're looking for path 19 again. The guidance says, it's clear that there are, I'll start at it again, I'm sorry, stumbling. It's clear that there are conditions in your life that are no longer serving you. To make things better, you must tame the beast within or without. Your own personal myths are being confronted. The stories about how nothing will change or how others see you. All these stories are now ready to be shown the door, and you'll do it through your own strength. A bitter cup is sometimes offered in these circumstances. The first step being the regrets and the residue of those tales you've told yourself, but as you drink deeper, it turns into a honeyed elixir. You have removed what you find distasteful, pride, self-centeredness, arrogant behavior, and found what makes life so much sweeter. You may come to the aid of someone who needs support now, perhaps defending them or lifting them up through encouraging words and actions. Does the Strength card speak to you? Does the pathway speak to you? Can you see where in your life perhaps this might have relevance for you? It might take a moment to figure it out. You may want to sit with it and journal. But it's often interesting if you just let it percolate and see what comes up to the surface. Now, as we said earlier, the pathway 19 runs between the Sephira of Gevurah, which is the red one, and I'll put that card from the Tree of Life Oracle there, and Netzach, I'm sorry, not Netzach, Gevurah and Chesed, which is the blue one, which is mercy and loving kindness. And here we can see the balance of the two Sephira. Gevurah is about severity, might, discipline, karma. It is on the pillar of severity on the Tree of Life. Those that we're looking at on our left-hand side all lie on the pillar of severity, while on the opposite side we have Chesed, the blue one, which is on the pillar of mercy. And Chesed has the key words of abundance, gratitude, and big ideas. So you have this interplay between restriction on the one side and huge abandonment and abundance on the other side. And what we're looking for is that place in the center where one is truly balanced. Not too much of one, not too much of the other. And this is the pathway that Strength runs back and forth between. For a little more information on Gevurah from the Oracle deck, let's see if there's anything specific I want to share with you. Here we're talking about the guidance saying, do you want to get your Dragon Slayer on? Ready to meet the demands of life with the ferocity of Mars at your back and a ballast to the fore? External events can often make us feel like this. But do you know what you are fighting for or even with? When this card appears, you are being asked to be clear about what you want and the consequences of the actions you take, all of them. You are being asked to put everything you've got into seeing something through gracefully. While your initial reaction may be to disregard the feelings of anyone who gets in your way, how will that feel further down the line? Grace isn't always something that comes wrapped in ribbons and bows. You can be graceful and courageous, assertive and loving. You could have set some karmic points in your life that are now being activated. Remember, karma isn't only what happens to you. It's how you react to what happens to you. And on the other side of the path, we have Chesed, and its guidance says, support, be it from family, friends, or the universe, is something we can all use now and again. This card suggests you've forgotten to ask for it. Ask now and look and listen for the signs that will guide you. As you put your faith in the higher aspect of yourself, magical creatures are waiting to carry your goals to fruition on their backs, wings, and tails. A new guide may be moving in, a teacher to help you through a particular phase, to remind you of your talents and encourage you to go for it. This is a time to go big or go home. No, I added that bit. It didn't say that. It says this is a time to go big, not to take unnecessary risks, but to realize a goal you've been waiting for. It's a moment to bring an abundance practice into play, to develop a positive outlook that will be returned to you in magical ways. A spiritual master could appear to assist you. What a great compliment. So those are kind of their energies as explained in the Oracle book, and the guidance that they give you if these were to pop up if you pulled those as an Oracle card. But let's just delve a little bit more into the information from the Tree of Life on these two Sephira. Gevurah is known as the Sephira of strength, severity, and judgment. It is on that pillar of severity, as I said before. It calls for greater energy and courage, for tearing down of the old forms, for change of any kind, critical judgment, information on enemies and discord, vision of natural forces and how to use them, overcoming cruelty and destruction, increased strength and courage, energy for tearing down old and building the new, insights into enemies and discords. The Sephira is red on the Tree of Life, and it is associated with the planet Mars. At its deepest level, this Sephira awakens visions of one's true strength and courage and how to manifest it. And its strengths are confidence, critical judgment, initiative, activity, and to be able to deal with issues. While it has its weaknesses, which are anger, fear, cruelty, self-doubt, manipulation, and belligerence. So these are part of the energies that we have encapsulated within this particular Sephira. So ask yourself, where in your life are you with these? What is actually influencing you at the moment, if anything? Where do you find there might be a challenge? Where do you find that you have your strengths? Only you know. When we look across the path to the Sephira of Chesed, we know that it is called loving kindness, unconditional love, and mercy. It represents the benevolent and giving aspect of the divine. It is the blue Sephira, and its planet is Jupiter. Here you have a greater sense of obedience to the higher. Financial gains, opportunities, chances to build the new, justice, abundance, prosperity, hearing the inner call. hearing and recognizing the inner spiritual call and awakening to greater peace and mercy, opportunities for new growth and movement. At its deepest level, it awakens a vision of love and true power at its most spiritual level. Its strengths include idealism, truth and loyalty, patience, devotion, endurance, and committedness, while its weaknesses are hypocrisy, dogmatism, smugness, self-righteousness, false pride, and bigotry. Sorry about that. So as you can see, between the two, we have a lot of different qualities that could actually be popping up and playing out. Not all of them pop out and play at the same time, but there are actually quite a lot for all of us to consider and see where on this spectrum are we operating right now. Why has the Strength card popped up for us to look at this path? Why are we considering path number 19, the path of Teth? Teth is the Hebrew word associated with this path, and it means snake. Okay, let's take a look at the possible additions we can have for this pathway by adding a couple of the minor arcana. Normally on the Tree of Life, each of the Sephira would be associated with the numbered card that you see. So Gevurah is associated with all the fives in the tarot deck, whereas Chesed is associated with all of the fours. So if you were to read a different deck or a different spread and it came up, you would know that all the fives would belong to Gevurah. And if you think about what the fives are in the tarot, what the theme through all of the fives are, you can see why they belong to Gevurah. And the same would go for any of the other numbered cards that fit into the Sephira. Anyway, let's shuffle up the minor cards and see if they have anything that could inform us a little further as to where we might be on this path and why we've been invited to walk this path today. That's the other thing. We have answered the invitation to walk along the path. So what is it that we need to identify on the path to work with as we move forward on our return journey back to Source? Okay, which two cards do we want? What do we want for... I'll put that above there, it's easier to see. The Two of Pentacles are coming into the sphere of Gevurah. And what about Chesed? This one. The Three of Pentacles. Interesting, we have two pentacles coming up. And we shuffled, you saw me shuffle, but 2 and 3 of Pentacles are what are joining these particular Sephira. So when we've looked at what we talked about with Chesed, perhaps because the 3 of Pentacles is often seen as working in collaboration with others, we might want to look at who we can work with to help us achieve what we're trying to bring to fruition in the Sephira of Chesed. That part where we might want to build up and bring more towards the center could be enhanced by dealing with, well, by including other people and getting advice and perhaps working with others. When it comes to where we are in the Sephira of Gevurah, with the 2 of Pentacles, we're juggling perhaps too many things, and it might be time to make a choice and decide what we're actually going to move forward with and let go. Perhaps it is time to let something go as we work with that particular Sephira. There's a lot to think about, and there isn't a quick and easy answer that pops out for one person or another. That is one of the things about pathworking. It takes a little bit of time and consideration to see just where this is operating for you. So let's finish the reading with an oracle card. And I'm going to choose one from this deck, which is the Soul Helper Oracle. And let's see if there's anything particularly. This is meant to be messages from your higher self. So give it a whirl. What message do you have for us all today to end the reading on the Path 29? The Strength card between Gabora and Hesed. What message do you have for us? Which card wants to come up? This one. Re-energize in the natural world. Let your inner hunter or huntress take rest. Perfect time if you take rest to just let yourself ruminate on what you've learned about the pathway and the two Sephira and where it might be interacting in your own life. This is card number 1. Oh, perfect. The first card of the pack. How interesting. You are connected with everything. You are a part of the greater whole. Your soul cries out for peace, for contact with your true inner nature. Immerse yourself in the natural world, the world that has surrounded you in this life since birth. It is calling you. Give your inner hunter or huntress time to rest. The part of you that is restless and always looking for something, the next big thing, the next adventure. This card indicates that the time has come to take a break. It may also be a test. Listen to the trees. They will speak wisely to you and guide you towards your true potential. Cancel any appointments and arrangements and reflect on where you can really find strength. Give yourself time to love yourself and respect your innermost needs. Once you begin to focus exclusively on following the path of your soul, you will never be powerless again. Every step along this path will bring strength. Respect the decisions of your soul. So, good point to end on. I hope this has given you as much food for thought as it has me, and that you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.